Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
Shut your bigoted, ignorant yap. You're not talking to your ex-brother-in-law. You're talking to Michael Savage, putz. New York, WOR. John, welcome to the program.
Yes, I'll tell you, he was deserved to be fired, and he's sticking up for these people. All you bums, you working for the Tea Parties, all of you.
Shut your mouth, you street bum, you. Who are you? Who the hell are you? Who listens to you? Who the hell would ever listen to you other than someone on talk radio? Who do you think you are? What have you done with your life, you nothing?
Again, trust me.
Who are you? Tell me who you are. Tell me what you do for a living, that you know anything. What do you know? What'd you go to the third grade?
Tiger, beat it a cat, you phony baloney.
What do? You sell drugs somewhere in Harlem? What do you do for a living?
I do better than you. Talk about you white.
What do you? Well, tell us what you do. You know what I do. Tell us what you do. You want to get down and dirty with me? Tell millions of people who you are and what you do.
You're a bum, the savage. You're a savage.
You know what, my friend? No one will ever hear of you again. You just had your 1 second of fame. Goodbye. Have a nice life. KNEW, Derek, you're on the Savage Nation.
Uncle Mike, how you doing?
You're off the air. That's it. I don't care if you love me or not. You ask me how I'm doing, you're off the air. The rules are going back to what I originally did on the radio. No more how you doing, ever. Don't ask me how I'm doing. I'm not Rush Limbaugh. And don't tell me it's a great honor to call me. I'm not Rush Limbaugh. I'm not an empty suit with an empty golf bag. I don't need you to tell me you love me. Ever. And don't ask me how I'm doing. You don't know me.
Savage.
Michael in Victorville, welcome to the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
How you doing, Michael? Hello?
Yes, make your point. Stop asking me how I'm doing. You don't know me, for God's sakes.
How you doing, Michael? This is Michael from Victorville, and
I'm hanging up, that's all. That's number 2. If you ever get on my show, there's a couple of rules. Never ask me how I'm doing. This is not Breaker One radio. You don't know me. I don't know you. We're not chatting. It's national radio. Come up with a cogent point or don't get on my show at all. I can't take this. New York City, WOR. Janet, go ahead, please.
Hi, how you doing? Hello?
Yeah, I don't answer those questions. You don't know me. I don't know you. We're not friends. What's on your mind?
You're rude.
That's right. I am rude. What else is on your mind? What's the matter? Obama got your tongue? No, null and void already, because I didn't kiss her behind already. She was stunned. I saw what she was going to do already. I saw what it said on the screen. Obama is doing what he promised. But the minute I didn't lick her boots already, she was stunned. She thought I'd get on my hands and knees and go, oh, please tell me what you think. I'm not a white liberal. Don't confuse me with the people you grew up with in New York who kiss you behind because you give them an eye. I'm not going to take this crap from you anymore. Any of you liberal communist bums. San Francisco, 860 on the dial. Brandon, welcome. You're on the Savage Nation.
I vehemently disagree with
All right, look,
you.
Brandon, hold on. If you're going to play games, call somebody else. Can you talk, or you're just going to be stupid as you normally are? I mean, try to sound like a man, not like a beat-up moron. What are you saying there? You're calling to support pot and you can't even finish a sentence?
With your cannabis plant negative network acknowledgments full of evil endeavors.
Brandon, you're so stoned you don't even understand that you should be in a hospital right now.
I'm an artist, you're an artist. I read your political...
I don't care what you call yourself. You're a pothead and you're a fool.
You want to cut the jugular vein on the November's ballot for the referendums, and it's a sad thing, and I don't agree with cannabis sativa billboards on Highway 101.
Brandon, let me ask you something. What has pot done for you that's positive in your life?
It opened up doors. It helped my asthma, but creatively, I'm an artist, and it helps. I don't harm anybody.
Whoa. You said 3 things at once. You said it helps what? It helps you as an artist?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to be polite.
How do you know it helps you as an artist? Has it improved your reach to the audiences out there? Have you sold more art as a result of being a pothead?
Vividly and creatively, it does, sir. And
Wait, how do you know that? Many people on pot think they're geniuses, and then when they're off the cigarette, they look at what they wrote and they can't believe the gibberish. It's the same with art. They create garbage, and when they're on pot, look at the color. They get sucked into the color. And then when they're off the pot, they look at it, they can't believe the garbage they smeared on a sheet.
I listen to your show when I'm high, and it's not bad.
I don't care whether you listen to my show when you're high. I'm telling you that you're committing suicide with marijuana. It's suicide with dope. Don't you understand that? Didn't you ever understand that there are things that are bad for you in life?
Don't you? Yes, I do. But don't you understand that it does help with asthma, and it does.
It helps with asthma. That's very good. So you're telling me that hot marijuana smoke is good for your lungs?
Well, it is. Yes. It makes me feel...
so hot smoke is very good. Burning hot ash is very good for your lungs. It really helps your capillaries to inhale smoke that is at a level of a burning cigarette. Is that correct?
It's a fat absorbing potent to my lungs, and it gives my
Brandon, if the marijuana is helpful for your asthma, why don't you use THC instead of
calcium? I'm trying to be a polite conversation person.
You can't do it because you're not capable of it, Brandon. You're completely messed up. I know you don't make a living. I know you're living off your parents, and I know that you're ashamed to your mother and father. Don't you understand that you have a chance to save yourself by kicking this drug addict habit that you have called marijuana?
No, buddy, but I like...
All right, have a nice day. You've wasted enough of my time. Don't ever call the show.
Savage.
Matthew in Cincinnati, Ohio, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hello.
Go ahead, Matthew. You're on the radio.
Yes, I think Obama is right on this Egypt issue.
Well, that's not enough of a statement. Tell us why.
Because Islam is a religion, and it is a world religion, and it should be respected.
Listen, fool. What religion is Mubarak, fool?
Mubarak? He is no religion. He's a secular...
Listen, Putz. Putz, he's a Muslim, you schmuck. What are you talking about? You're making it as though Mubarak is not religion. He's a Muslim, you moron. Where do you get your information from, you Putz, you?
Huh?
Cannot take idiots. You're a slave of the Obama hypnosis. Boca Raton, Jill, you're on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Yes, excuse me, Mr. Dr. Savage. I have to let you know that I'm kind of offended because I'm a habitual marijuana smoker, and at the top of the hour, you were really bashing the marijuana movement, and you were saying that we suffer from hallucinogenic side effects or something crazy like that, and I'm perfectly fine and normal. So I don't know why you tried to bring that up on the air and make us look like...
Well, because marijuana or Mary Jane or weed or hash or herb or cannabis is an extremely dangerous drug. Whether you use it or not is irrelevant to the medical or scientific discussion. You do know that you are poisoning your body and that marijuana contains more than 400 harmful chemicals, including powerful cancer-causing chemicals. You do know that, don't you?
Exactly. Same with food that we eat from the grocery store. There's a lot of things in the things that we eat.
You're not going to say that a carrot has the same effects that marijuana does, are you?
Nowadays it does. Look at all the farmers.
So you're going to say that marijuana will elevate the heart rate and pulse rate? You'll say that carrots produce panic attacks, anxiety, hallucinations, and paranoia the way marijuana does?
I've never suffered that. All of my friends have never suffered that. So I'm trying to figure out where you got your source from and why you are...
Well, it's not where I got my source from. The scientific literature is replete with information on this subject. Marijuana is a toxic substance. As I said before, it contains more than 400 harmful chemicals. Shall I read you the list of chemicals which are derived from marijuana smoke?
No, but all I know is when we smoke all together, we don't care about the chemicals. We're happy, and that's all we want. That's all.
Well, that's right. And the person who sticks a needle with heroin in their arm doesn't care about the effects on themselves or on society. They feel good. So you're saying if it feels good, do it.
Two totally different things. I do think what you should do is make yourself happy no matter what you have to do. I don't think...
Make yourself happy no matter what you have to do. What about the effect that marijuana has on memory and memory loss?
I remember pretty much anything that people who don't smoke marijuana doesn't. So I remember a lot of things, and my memory is not.
Well, you may be one of those who can tolerate marijuana and not have the negative side effects, Jill. There are people who are outside the norm, but the norm is not you. Many, many people are not aware of the dangers of marijuana. It is not the benign drug that the libs want you to believe it is.
I agree with you on one thing. That is, you're right. Maybe it's not the right drug for everybody, but all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to defend.
Would you agree that marijuana alters one's perceptions of time and distance?
I would say not if you're a habitual user. Maybe it's like your first.
Would you say marijuana affects reflexes and coordination? Would you want to be driving on marijuana? Do you think others should be able to drive on marijuana?
I drive better while I'm on marijuana.
That means you're a danger to society and you should be arrested the next time you drive on marijuana. How do you differ from a drunk?
Driving that train, pound cocaine.
Wes from Redding, California, KQMS. Wes, go ahead. You're on the Savage Nation.
Yeah, you there, Michael?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, cool. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, far from a pothead, I'm an entrepreneur. I have a couple businesses, and
Yeah, right. And how'd you make the money to start the businesses? By growing pot?
no, far from. I'd like to not, elaborate here, but the situation is I'm just curious. Are you pro-Bayer? Are you pro-Monsanto?
What does Monsanto have to do with marijuana, idiot?
What are you pro-Bayer?
What are you do? What are you linking one to the other? Let's talk about marijuana. Are you aware of the toxic elements of marijuana smoke? Let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Are you or aren't you? What do you mean, okay? What kind of answer is that?
Oh, excuse me.
Are you aware of the toxic elements of marijuana smoke? That's all I'm asking.
Of smoke, yes, I am, definitely. But I'm also
Of which, wait, sir, which smoke?
toxic side.
Okay, so why is it that all of these fools who claim they need medical marijuana don't take Marinol, which contains the active ingredient which will give them the relief they claim they get from it? Why are they risking lung cancer by smoking marijuana? It's not for medical reasons. It's to get high.
Well, the smoking portion of it, I would believe, is lack of information. Because there's other ways that you can also get it. Cold pressing.
I just said that to you. So why don't they take the medication that contains the active ingredient, tetrahydrocannabinol? Why don't they just take a medication that contains that?
Marinol, I believe, is made by pharmaceutical companies. Is that not the truth?
So what are you leading to? Everything made by a pharmaceutical company is evil?
Well, not necessarily.
Well, most of humanity wouldn't have survived childhood without pharmaceuticals, incidentally. Are you telling me you never took an antibiotic in your childhood?
How many children have died from Tylenol?
Wait, no, don't change the subject. Don't change the subject. You're showing your ignorance. Were you ever given an antibiotic in your childhood?
Not very, very rarely.
I didn't say rare. I said, were you ever? That's not the correct answer.
Yes, okay.
So that means, yes, you were given an antibiotic. When you get a rotten tooth, what does a doctor give you? Chicken feathers and menstrual blood of a chicken and dance in a circle, or he gives you an antibiotic?
He gives you antibiotics.
Was he dance in a circle with menstrual blood and chicken feathers and go, was he give you a tetracycline? Are you stupid idiot? Get off my show. You're wasting my time. Reminds me of the idiots I used to have to teach when I can't take teaching for that reason. I had to leave it from the idiots sitting in the audience, stoned and drunk out of their minds.
Savage.
Mr. Savage, Dr. Savage, how are you?
And what's your comment or question?
Correct. I'm trying to understand how you can gain the moral ground, or the government can gain the moral ground to decide what somebody can consume or ingest into their body and make it.
No, I'm not saying the government should determine whether you should consume marijuana. I'm telling you to make your own decision.
Okay, so you're telling somebody to make their own decision, but I've had personal experiences with people that consume alcohol maybe more than just a regular.
Yeah, but I'm not telling you to get drunk. I didn't say use alcohol. I didn't say stop using pot and start using alcohol. I didn't say that. This shows you what marijuana has already done to your brain. Is that you can't even understand what I'm saying to you. Why is it that potheads are so defensive about their drug?
Why are alcoholics so open?
No. Don't change the subject. You're not dealing with a Talmudic classroom right now. Okay. Are you listening to anybody? Do you have any idea what marijuana does to your brain?
Do you have any idea what alcohol does to your brain?
Or you see, yeah, I have a radio show and you don't. Any other questions? I have some answers for you.
Yes, correct. So I do.
You have nothing to do but call a radio show because obviously you're busy smoking pot and telling everybody how wonderful it is. I mean, you and your skateboard and marijuana is not a complete world. Thanks for the call. Idiots. They just don't get it, no matter what you say to them. KBET Radio. John, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Thank you, Dr. Savage. Great show. I'll make it quick and simple. Basically, before I got prescribed by a doctor the marijuana, I was literally drinking a 6-pack a day and close to a pack a day. I was a construction worker, and ever since...
All right, so you're on medical marijuana and your life is better now. Do you have a computer in front of you, or are you
I'm not
without a computer?
But...
John, I'm going to give you a quick math question. Are you high right now?
No, sir. That's the thing. I don't smoke when I'm at work. It's just like I don't drink when I used to do construction.
All right. How much is 1,254 divided by 3?
1,254 divided by 3?
Yes.
I mean, let's see. I would have
Getting feedback. Every time I say a word to him, comes back in my ears.
Okay. 1,254 divided by 3. 3 goes into 12 4 times. That's 12, and then you have 54 left over. 3 goes into 54.
Okay, here's another question. 334. I'm going to give you a quick 3 columns of 3 to show you how your brain is slowed down. Compare it to a child from India who's here in America for 3 days, how fast he would do it. 334 plus 296 plus 132 equals how much?
334 plus 296 plus what?
132 equals how much? A kid who came here from India 3 days ago would have the answer already.
And 3?
I'm sorry. Time is up. Sorry. Gabrielle, WABC on the marijuana question. Welcome to the Savage Nation from New York City. What's on your mind?
Thank you for taking my call. I want to say I'm a big fan. I am a marijuana smoker. I'll give you a little background on myself. I'm a hedge fund portfolio manager out of New York City.
Well, you're certainly not getting my money, but go ahead.
I don't know. I'm pulling about 25% return, so maybe you should.
But you're saying you're pulling what, 25% a year, you said?
25% returns on the money.
And do you feel it's because of the marijuana that gives you the insights?
Absolutely not. I never spoke during the day. I spoke in the evenings. However, I have a very high stressful job, managing hundreds of millions of dollars. And, when I come home at night, I'm married, I have 3 children, it helps me. I never smoke in front of my children or my wife, but, it's a deep...
Well, there's 2 questions in play here, Gabrielle. One, I can't confirm that you're really a hedge fund manager. I'll take you on your word. The issue is not marijuana per se. It's smoking it in public because of the secondhand smoke. Surely, as a logical thinker, you have to agree with me that it's offensive and potentially harmful to people who are sensitive to the smoke. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that.
That's all. See, that's what I'm trying to get at. What I don't like about the marijuana legalization community is that they're stepping on common sense. First, they got everything they wanted. Now they're saying you should be required to inhale my secondhand smoke. And I'm saying, hell no, we won't blow.
So I think there's an alternative to that.
Yeah.
I think that, like in many European countries, there are, red light district areas or certain areas where that will be tolerable, where if you're going to an area like that, you're going with the understanding that this is what occurs over here and don't expect anything different. I'm not going to say to you that it's right to smoke in front of a school or a park or anywhere else that someone will find it disturbing. But
let me tell you, Gabrielle, you do know that marijuana smoke is highly carcinogenic. You know that, don't you?
So is eating a steak. Everything is...
Well, hold on. No, don't. Well, I'll say 2 wrongs make a right. And 2 carcinogens are better than 1.
Listen.
You're dealing with an Aristotelian logician, so you're not saying that it's a good thing to add carcinogen to carcinogen. In fact, co-carcinogens
often augment each other's toxicity. For example, many people smoke tobacco, drink alcohol, and individually there may be some toxicity to either of those activities, but together they are, let us say, manifold or multiplied by 4 to 6 times. Well-known established fact, smoking and drinking alcohol 4 to 6 times more carcinogenic than either smoking or drinking by themselves. So marijuana is a potent carcinogen that you should be aware of, the side effects, the dangers. I want to ask you something about this. Alcohol is water soluble, and although people may wake up with a hangover, they remove the toxins in their urine. Marijuana, as you well know, is fat soluble and sits in your system for about 30 days. So you're always high, basically.
That's not true. You're not always.
Gabrielle, that's a medical fact. You say you smoke at night and you don't smoke during the day. You are high 24 hours a day. That is a medical fact. In other words, you're in a subdued high during the day while you're working, but you can't wait to get home to get back to your regular high. I'm just telling you, you're addicted to marijuana. Now, what it does for you is interesting. Does it make you calm? Is that what you're saying? It's a sedative?
Yeah, it definitely. I would classify it as a sedative. You know, you have a.
Well, you sound like an intelligent man, but I will tell you that there is a significant percentage of the population that have overt psychotic episodes from marijuana, from the THC of marijuana. It's the equivalent of an LSD experience for them. You're not one of those people, but there are people for whom marijuana will provoke a psychotic episode. The emergency rooms are filled with people checking in who have gone hysterical simply from smoking marijuana. You're not one of those people, and there are people who can smoke without such effects. And so you should be aware that there's a great variation in effects of marijuana. And your children, do they know you smoke marijuana?
My children are ages 3, 4, and 2.
Okay, then one last question. You don't even have to answer it on the air. When your children become of conscious age, would you tell them marijuana is something that you do and recommend that they do it when they're able to do it?
Tough question. It's
all right, and I don't want to put you on the spot. We don't know each other, but I'm sure you've thought about it.
I'm going to give you an honest answer, and I'm going to tell you no. I'm very against teenagers smoking marijuana. I think that it definitely, it kills your motivation to a certain extent. I think
Thank you. That's why they're called slackers. That's number one. How can you study a law book if you're stoned? How can you study a medical textbook if you're stoned? How can you study a chemical engineering report if you're stoned? How can you learn to fly a plane if you're stoned? I don't understand the psychosis in this country where people think this is a benign drug.
100%. So that's why there should be age restrictions on it. I think it should be a 21 plus. I think that.
So when you're a hedge fund manager, are you picking stocks? What are you doing as a hedge fund manager?
I do a lot of IPO work. I fund startups.
All right, so you're a social type of personality. You're not doing you're not really an analyst. You are bringing people together. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
All right, so that's a whole different, subset of skills, and that's a very important skill, very high level skill. And marijuana could probably play a very good role in that world in which you live, because probably most of the guys you're dealing with are stoned.
No. I mean, listen.
Are you kidding me? You're bringing people together in a younger age bracket. Most of them are potheads. But so you're not doing stock analysis in plain English, because I was wondering how you could do that if you're high.
I do stock analysis as well. I mean, it's not the main thing that I focus on. But no, I don't work. I never work high. I can't. You're right.
So let me ask you about something about stocks. If you were going to generalize about the market, and no one could do that because if they could, everyone would be predicting. Would you say that investing in Asian stocks or European stocks is a good bet for 2014?
It's hard to predict. You don't.
Now you're playing rabbi with me. Now you're not giving an answer. That's good. That's good. Shows you're very good at what you do. Are you sure you don't work for the Obama administration?
Definitely not. Absolutely.
All right. Look, you're a very good-natured person, and I truly appreciate a logical discussion about any topic. including this topic, Gabriel. And I thank you very much for being a loyal pothead and listener to this, to this Savage Nation.
Savage. Austin, Texas, Brandon is going to defend hippie values. Brandon, you have a big job ahead of you. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Michael. I want to know what is wrong with the hippie values of love and just acceptance of different people.
No, well, go and defend hippie values because hippie values are not love.
Well, I consider myself actually a hippie of today. I'm young. I actually do dress the fashion of hippies. Me and my friends, we're about love, about acceptance, about everything like that. And I want to know what's wrong.
Tell me what you mean by love and acceptance. What does that mean?
Well, it means you don't discriminate against people because their gender, race, their sexual orientation. Just
so you're gay, Brandon? Is that? Can you just come out and say it? You and your friends are gay, right?
Well, I am gay. I'm not going to lie.
Well, it's okay. I'm not asking you to lie. So to you, that's the most important thing in the world is being gay, is it not?
Oh, no.
Well, that's you're just basically telling me that you live for that. I mean, that's your whole life. The question is something a little different than gayness. It's about hippie values in general. You certainly wouldn't argue that the rampant drug use that we see in America today, including that amongst the young, is something that's positive, would you?
What do you mean?
Sorry, say that again?
Yes, say that again.
No, I'm not going to say it again. If you can't follow a thought, why are you calling a show to have a discussion?
I was going to say, I don't go around having sex with everybody. I don't do drugs. I'm just, the values, the core concepts is what Well,
let's go again. I'll start again, and please listen this time, or else I'm going to get frustrated. We won't go anywhere. You're not going to argue that the rampant drug use we see in America today, which is a hippie value, is a good value, are you?
No, I'm not, but I think marijuana...
Well, hold on. Let's take it a step at a time. You're saying there's nothing wrong with hippie values. I'm telling you what the hippie values really are. One, the legalization of all drugs. So you're saying you disagree with that?
Marijuana only. It's natural.
Saying that if we don't get tough on marijuana, more people are going to wind up in mental hospitals or die.
Well, also, alcohol does the same thing as marijuana.
No, don't change the argument. We know about the dangers of alcohol. But most of us think that marijuana is a benign drug when it's the exact opposite. Why do you assume marijuana is helpful? Why do you make that assumption?
Well, it grows from the earth. It's from the earth. It's natural. It can't do
now I know that you're a put-on. You know, this is a fake voice by somebody trying to get my goat. We know that arsenic is also natural, isn't it?
I really don't know.
Well, you don't. What do you know? You're like a dumbass. You don't know nothing. What do you think? Because it's natural, it's good. I can show you 10 mushrooms that can kill you if you ingest 1 milligram of it. What do you mean natural? What kind of stupidity is that? There are aflatoxins that are natural, and microgram amounts would kill you. Well, where does the idea that if it's natural, it's good come from? Heroin is natural. Is that good too, Brandon?
No, heroin is not good. Heroin is not.
Oh, wait a minute. Heroin is natural. It grows from a poppy. What are you talking about? You just contradicted yourself.
Well, I'm saying marijuana, from my experience, has done less harm than heroin and all that other kind of stuff.
Well, look what it's done to you. Look what it's done to you. You can't even follow a thought for 3 seconds in a row. Here's the chief executive of the charity Sane in England. It says at least a third of murders committed by addicts of cannabis were preventable. There are murders, an epidemic of murder in England related to marijuana. Thousands of cannabis plants are being shut in England because they recognize, unlike the morons in this country, that marijuana is the most dangerous of all drugs. Look what it's done to you. It's gutted out your character. You don't even know what you're talking about. You have no idea that you have no character. You think that being gay is the whole reason to live.
No, it's not. It's just how I was born.
All right, that's how you were born. Wonderful. What else do you think is good about hippie values then? We just agreed that drugs are not good. Well, give me another hippie value that is good. Random and free sex with a stranger is good?
No, I've never done that. I've never had sex with a stranger.
All right, I'm talking hetero. I'm talking homo. I'm talking about random sex with strangers on a regular basis. You wouldn't argue that that's a good thing for society, I don't think.
You should. Oh no, that's one good thing. That's one bad thing. I have had.
Oh, but Brandon, there's another hippie value. So we got 2 hippie values now: random sex with strangers and rampant drug use. Both are hippie values. All right, Brandon, thanks for trying. You're not a bad person. I just wish to God that your mental health was tuned up a little better. Savage. I think that we're a nation of idiots, that a goodly percentage of this country is filled with marijuana smokers who are absolutely stupid idiots. They're potted up, they're doped up, and they don't know what's going on.
And that's why I'm telling you that heavy pot use in the new study has been shown to impair brain functioning. It's your life, Buster. You want to wind up like Rat Boy, or do you want to wind up like an upstanding American? Throw the marijuana away, period. End of story.
Don't even listen to my show because listeners like you lower the IQ by a vast amount. I know that when a person like you listens, the IQ goes down for every listener to the show.